Hey everybody, welcome back. It is me, lukemick here, and this is my review for Enemy. So Enemy is directed by a man by the name of Denis Villeneuve. That's how I'm going to try to pronounce his name. And he directed Prisoners late last year, and I thought that movie is just fantastic. It starred Jake Gyllenhaal, and Enemy actually also stars Jake Gyllenhaal. And it's about a history teacher at a university or college of some sort, and he kind of finds a very strange thing in his life. A movie is recommended to him by a colleague. He watches the movie, thinks nothing of it, goes to bed, but he wakes up at around 3 a.m. in the morning and realizes that he saw something very strange in the film that he just watched. He goes back to investigate the movie and goes to a particular scene, and he finds out that a man playing a small bit part in the movie, who actually played a bellhop in the movie, looks exactly like him. He's like an exact carbon copy of himself, and Jake Gyllenhaal obviously is very disturbed by that. He's worried. He's like, who is this man that looks exactly like me? And he starts to investigate this, and this movie has this very kind of claustrophobic and just very disturbing feeling to it, and that's one of the things that I loved about it the most. Anyways, he starts investigating this man, he finds out where he lives, he calls him, he wants to meet up with him, and once he meets up with him, some really weird things start to happen, and this movie is just very twisted, very strange, and I absolutely loved it. This is definitely my favorite film so far of the year 2014. Now, this is a movie that doesn't really end on a note where you know what's happening. You don't know what happened at the end of this movie. Something very crazy happens, and I'm not going to ruin it, but the movie ends, and you just have to really soak it all in. You have to think, what did all that mean? There's a lot of symbolism, a lot of stuff that just goes unexplained, a lot of questions are unanswered, and it really makes you want to discuss this with other people, and that's what I loved about this movie so much. It didn't make sense, but there are things that you can connect. There's a lot of hints throughout the movie that you can kind of put together, and you can kind of form your own opinion or form your own way of how the movie worked and what it really meant. And I loved this movie because it was very eerie, very creepy. The score in this movie was just fantastic. It was disturbing, it was terrifying, the direction was amazing, the cinematography was great. Jake Gyllenhaal played essentially two different people, and he did just a fantastic job. Jake Gyllenhaal is really turning out to be one of my favorite actors at the time, right now, and I just really loved Enemy. You know, the ending was just so crazy and wacko, and you just don't know what happened. You just have to talk about it with other people, and I gotta say, this movie had some of the best use of blueberries I have ever seen in a movie, and there's also this weird thing that happens with spiders in this movie. It's really centered around spiders, and I don't know why. There's just a lot of things in this movie that are unexplained, and it really is, it's open. It's like an open briefcase, you can just find, and that's a terrible analogy, but it's just, this movie can go anywhere. You can think of it any way you want, and you can make any kind of ending you want. You can just decipher it any way you want, and it can be unique, and it was such an amazing movie. When it was done, I was literally sweating and shaking. I was like, oh my god, what the hell just happened? I was trying to figure it out and work it all out in my head. I was trying to take all the hints back from everything I'd seen in the movie. I might sound crazy in this review, but this movie honestly made me feel insane after I was done watching it. I want to go back and watch it again. It's just that there is no clear-cut way of how this movie worked or how it ended, if that makes any sense. I almost said Prisoners. Enemy is definitely my favorite film of the year so far. I'm definitely going to be buying it when it comes out. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars, but you guys, if you guys don't think you're going to like a movie that doesn't really end, then you probably won't like this. So, this is lukemick signing off. Please subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.